Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the show. The kids are alright with me, BK Mullen. I'm sure you can see by the title of the episode itself what the subject is and what it's about. And I'm sure that you know how this usually goes. When we lose something, somebody like Anthony Bourdain. There is nothing new that I can say about Anthony, and there's nothing new that I can say about suicide. There's nothing that you haven't heard before if you're a fan, or if you've just been keeping up on the news lately. All I can really tell you is my personal experiences. Now, I never met him. I never got that privilege. But, it's a weird thing, and I know it's a weird thing. But it doesn't happen to me very often, where we start to feel this connection with people. People that we see on TV, we read their books, we watch their movies, we listen to their music, etc., etc. We follow them on social media. And we form this personal connection because we see, if you want to be all poetic about it, you see find a kindred spirit in somebody. Now, when I initially did a Facebook post, I don't know. I can't even remember what social media I've been on today. When I initially posted about it this morning after I heard about it, I was trying to think of how to describe exactly the relationship between fame, someone being famous, and feeling like you have some sort of a personal connection to that human. And the best way I could put it is that, fame is just how we found them. If I'd have found myself in a restaurant in New York somewhere, and let's say I'm sitting at the bar. I'll tell you what, I'm sitting at the bar at a sushi restaurant in New York City, right? And let's pretend I had never seen nor heard of Anthony Bourdain, and he walks in and he comes and he sits down next to me, just because that's where the chair is. And because we're sitting next to each other, we strike up a conversation. We have a few beers. We get to know each other. And that's where it comes from. But maybe in another life, that's what it could have been. But in this life, that's just the best way I could put it. Fame was the way that we find these people who are so similar to ourselves. That just so happens to be the method that we discover these people, and that we form our bond in a way. And I know it's weird. I do. I think about it often. It's just weird. But here we are, and there it is. And so it's a very sad day for me. It was a sad day for all of us, a lot of us. Even if it was somebody else. The idea of someone taking their own life, like Kate Spade recently, like Robin Williams. It's rough. It's rough on the psyche, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. It's rough. Even if you are totally accepting of that idea as a way, a perfectly sound way to to leave, to shuffle off this mortal coil. It's still a bummer, man. Like I said, there's nothing more. I have nothing new to say except my own experience, which is that I have always felt since the very first time I saw Anthony Bourdain's show, which was via Netflix. No reservations, it was. It was such a different thing. This was not your standard Travel Channel bullshit. This was not your standard... it just wasn't your standard bullshittery on television. This was a guy who feels a deep personal connection to food and the people who make food and why they make the food and what it's made out of and where those ingredients come from. This person has Anthony had such a deep connection to all of those things. And when you'd watch anybody else travel to some country, it was, formulaic. You'd get a little bit of the history, and they'd meet up with some interesting person and eat something interesting or cook something interesting. And they would talk about the food, and they'd talk about the history of food and stuff like that. Now, take the same formula, but hand it to a guy who really gives a shit. Not to say other people don't. Like, I'm sure Jamie Oliver gives a shit. I'm sure Guy Fieri gives a shit. But not on the same level as the rest of us. It is entertaining to watch Guy Fieri. It is entertaining to watch Jamie Oliver and so many other people. There's been a lot of those shows over the years. It's entertaining and maybe slightly educational to watch those other people. But when you watch Bourdain, it's 100% educational. And it's slightly entertaining, but more than it's entertaining, it's insightful about not just the food, not just the people behind the food, and not just about Bourdain himself, but they were able to, him and his team, they were able to tell the story of this food and these people and the culture that they are in at the time. They're able to tell this story that brings out how you feel about that particular place and food and all that jazz from within yourself. And it takes it out of you and it molds it into something better. It teaches you and you can feel it. And then it plops it back into your chest, metaphorically speaking, of course. And then now you're a much better person in that realm. That's what Bourdain did. For those of us who love food, every other show was entertaining and ticked that nerve of, oh, hey, cool, food. But when you watch Bourdain, it's a completely different experience. It is all immersive of your soul. That's what it is. Yeah, that's it. Man. I am dragging today, man. I love you guys. You know, it's hard to talk about. It's really hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about my own depression. It's hard to talk about suicide. It's hard to talk about all these things. It's hard to talk about how much we miss the people that are no longer here, whether it was by suicide or otherwise. But here we are. You know, a guy on replied to my Facebook post, and and said something to the effect of, well, you know, this person had such a wonderful life, and they traveled, and they ate amazing food, and they got paid great money to do it, and they had a family, a kid and an ex-wife and a amazing girlfriend and all that jazz. If he didn't make it, then what are the chances of I'm gonna make it? This is what the person posted in response, and I haven't responded yet. I've been ghosting around on social media all day, just reading. I posted that one thing this morning, and then just kind of been moving along with my day. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, dude, if that's how you want to look at it, I guess I understand. I don't know. Lots of dead air on this episode today. Because I got all these feels. And yeah, I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy to have all these feels about a person that you made a connection through just because they're famous, you know, just because you watch them on TV and stuff like that. But that's the way that it is sometimes. Because for as much as Anthony didn't put on screen, he put a lot out there. He put a lot out there. On a very personal level. He put a lot out there. And a lot of those things are things that I can and could connect with on a very personal level. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with this today. Other than to carry on, man. You know, the feelings that we have are temporary. The thoughts in our brain that we have are temporary. This whole thing is temporary, man. It's all temporary. So, we do the best that we can. Always. We always do the best that we can. I do not have the suicide hotline number in front of me, or else I would share it. I don't know how much good it would do. Because if you're listening to this and you're thinking about suicide, you're probably thinking about it because you're listening to this. So just turn off the episode. Nah, if you're listening to this and you've thought about it or you're thinking about it, all I can tell you is that there are other more important things to think about. There are other things that you can do. And it may sound morbid, it may sound crazy, but if you're listening to this and you're thinking about suicide, remember this. You are going to die eventually anyway. There are better things to do until then. There are more important things to do until then. There are people both in your life and not in your life that need you. Whether it's just on a physical level, they just need somebody to have a conversation with. or they've made a piece of art or something and they want to show somebody, you can be there to be that person. And that's the thing. That's what life is really about. It's being there for each other. Being there for each other until the end. So, I am very tired, and I am quite a bit depressed. No need to worry about me, though, because I'm going to go eat something delicious. I am going to go find some delicious food and think of Anthony the entire time I'm eating it. Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to go out there and try new things. Try new foods. And enjoy the food. Enjoy it. Share it with other people. Chew it slowly. Take in that flavor, man. Take it in. That's what I want you to do. That's what I need you guys to do. If you're listening to this and you are trying to think of something to do for Anthony or about your feelings for what's happened, find a friend or multiple friends or your family or whatever. Take him out to lunch. Take him out to dinner. Take him out to breakfast. Take him out for brunch. 11sies, afternoon tea, tea time, fucking second breakfast, third dinner. Take them out to eat. Go someplace and enjoy. I don't care if it's a diner. I don't care if it's a fucking McDonald's. Go, eat, and be merry. I love you guys. And this shit is hard, but we got it. We can do this. It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time. But damn it. Damn it. Check out Parts Unknown on Netflix and on CNN. I think there's still one episode left that they just finished filming or something. That will more than likely air later. But yeah, Parts Unknown, all the reruns are on Netflix. I think No Reservations is still on Netflix. I'm not 100% sure. But if you just search Anthony Bourdain, you will be able to find all the things that they still have. Yeah, man. Go eat. Go eat something. Follow me on the tweets and the Instagrams at @BKMullen_, which I'm working on getting just the @BKMullen. I have figured out who the actual @BKMullen is on Twitter. I haven't looked on Instagram yet, but I looked on Twitter, and they have not tweeted anything since 2015. So I'm going to get a hold of Twitter and say, hey, fix this shit. Because I'm sick of _. But until then, chat with you guys. Hit me up if you need to talk. It's all good. Love you guys. Bye.